after a certain point in your life, you shouldn't have to experience catastrophe the way you did in your teens and your early 20s. The reason for that is because you have a sufficiently sophisticated model of the world. Some people listening may say, okay, what does this have to do with being better than rich? What does this have to do with personal growth? And I'll share my answer. I want to hear yours. But for me, it's about, again, that seeking of the truth. So if you want to live a life that's better than rich, you need to have a model of the world that's mapped to reality. So if you are misinformed, then you're not going to have a map that's reliable, and you're going to constantly, be devastated. After a certain point in your life, certainly, when you're younger, this happens more often, but as you get older and as you mature and as your model of the world is more sophisticated, you really shouldn't be getting devastated and wiped out and going bankrupt and trying to get rich overnight and lose, $50,000 in the stock market. Like, you shouldn't be doing silly things like this. And you shouldn't have to experience catastrophe the way you did in your teens and your early 20s. And the reason for that is because you have a sufficiently sophisticated model of the world. So, when we're talking about being better than rich, part of it is being, realistic. It's good to have vision. It's good to have a purpose that is really profound and huge and massive. And certainly Mike and I are two of the biggest proponents of that. And we love to think big, and we also love to think practically. We also love to make it pragmatic. What are you going to do today about it? Our motto is leave today better than you found it. Well, if your head's always in the clouds and you're always thinking about some amazing vision in the future, but you're not mapped to reality, it's not going to work out. All of us know certain people, and I talk to people all the time who jump on coaching calls who just live in fantasy land. And, they always think that next month is going to be their big month. They always think that next year is going to be their next year. They're basically like a pathetic gambler who always thinks like the next bet I make is the one I'm going to make my million on or whatever. And, that's how they operate their business. It's not a practical way to go through life. And so, when we're thinking about being informed, obviously we're talking about politics and these sorts of things because it's very relevant right now, but it also is really practical when it comes to how to actually be happy and how to be fulfilled. So what's your take, Mike? What does being informed and educating yourself have to do with being better than rich?
When I get educated and I'm informed, I can make decisions that are aligned with that information. So, for example, I can't speak to everything that's happening in the world, but I could speak to what's happening in my lens of the world. So if I'm going down the street and then I'm driving down the street and I see a homeless person asking for food on the side of the street, I see that as real. That is in front of me. It's real. There's a person there asking for food or asking for money. So therefore, I can physically and visually see the problem in front of me and if that's a problem that I align with, that I would like to solve, then I can try to do something about it. So what do? I'll usually give that person, I usually will have a snack in my car that that was my nickname in high school, was Snacks. So I always had snacks with me, love snacks, and I'll usually have something. And I would say 9 out of 10 times, if I have a snack in my car, 9 out of 10, maybe even 10 out of 10, I'm going to roll down my window and I'm going to say, hey, are you hungry? And 9 out of 10 times, when I ask that question, they're going to say yes. And then I give them food. What's the point? The point is, I can't change the world, but that one person now has more food now than he did before my interaction. I've done that my whole life because that's what I saw my dad do. I saw my dad, my mom, very charity-oriented people. So people ask me, where did PB&J for Tampa Bay come from? It's like, we just wanted to make some sort of change. We'd do whatever we can because I was informed there's a big homeless population. It's like, let's do our part. What's our part? What can I do? I can't change every single person's view of what they're supposed to do. I got informed. What is in my control? What is in my sphere of influence? What can I do? I could gather up some friends. We could make some sandwiches and distribute them out to the homeless. Cool. 82,000 sandwiches later, hundreds of volunteers later, we were able to do something about it. What were we able to do? I don't know. A little awareness, help some people feel good, make sure they feel seen, they got a meal, and we're doing our part. But the troll, I shouldn't say trolls, but I'm going to, for lack of a better term, but the people that are trolling on other people's, giving their opinion and not doing shit about it, they're not better than rich. They're trying to bring down those people that are trying to create positive change in the world that they live. And that's why I believe that has to do with better than rich, because this has nothing to do with how much money someone has. This has to do with, am I living a principle-based life that wants to leave today better than yesterday? And if I can make a positive change in my lens and in my sphere of what's in my reach, then I'm going to do that because I'm educated, because I'm informed. And I'm willing. I think that's another thing, is I'm willing. And that's how this kind of ties into the better than rich principles, in my opinion.
That was beautiful, man. I really love that. And it's amazing to watch that journey that you've taken on, and this mantle of responsibility that you've taken on for your community. 82,000 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches fed to the homeless. You're sparking a movement. And I can't wait to see that cross the 100K mark. What's your anticipation on when you're going to cross 100K?
Well, the goal was this year, and then COVID hit.
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to do another. We're going to do one before Thanksgiving. A couple of years ago, we had a massive one before Thanksgiving. We made something. It was like 9,000 sandwiches a couple years ago in a Thanksgiving frenzy that we did. It was back when the mannequin challenge was popular. It's on YouTube. We did. It was like hundreds of people came out. And it was amazing. And we did the large mannequin challenge, making these PB&Js. It's somewhere on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Drop it in the comments after the recording's over. We'd love to see it. So that's awesome, man. And I think 82,000 to 100,000, and eventually to 500,000 and 1 million plus. If you want to get involved with PB&J for Tampa Bay and PB&J for USA, make sure you hit up Mike in the comments, and I'm sure that he can direct you on how to actually do that.